It's a simple thing of math. If you want to be a great player, if you play every single day, 2-3 hours, every single day, over the course of a year, how much better are you getting? Most kids will play maybe, an hour and a half, 2 days a week.
Right.
Do the math on that.
It's
not going to get it done.
What is it exactly that makes someone talented? Is it some innate superpower that they were born with? Or is it something else? Is it something that must be earned over time? Where is that line between talent and skill? Kobe Bryant truly was one of those once-in-a-generation athletes that, aside from winning tons of championships and breaking tons of records, rose to the level of becoming a true icon of the sport of basketball. Over his iconic career, he became known for having a fierce mindset that was coined the Mamba mentality, Mamba being the deadly snake that could kill in one strike. This mentality is meant to sharpen your mind and can turn you into a force to be reckoned with, not only in the game of basketball, but in the game of life. After studying Kobe and listening to him talk about his thought process, it surprised me how truly simplistic and practical his mindset was. And so I've broken it down into 3 basic concepts that I think sum it up pretty well. So here is the Mamba mentality in 3 basic concepts. Concept number 1, it's simple math. As Kobe would say, it's very simple math. The more time spent doing, the more skill that is acquired. I find this basic concept so empowering because it puts the power and the control over your progress in your own hands. You see, you may not be blessed with the same ability as someone else, but under this view, you could very well outperform that person simply by outworking them. You could easily end up beating someone or becoming more successful than someone else who may be stronger than you, smarter than you, more creative than you, simply because you were willing to put in the hours necessary to maximize your potential more than the other guy. This also ties in with the old Japanese concept of Kaizen that we've talked about before, this idea that we should be making small incremental gains every single day instead of focusing so much on our larger goals and ambitions, getting 1% better as it's often characterized. Concept number 2, no pressure.
We psych ourselves up too much. Like if you try to talk yourself into, this is a big moment, this is a big shot, you're putting a lot of pressure on yourself. You shot that shot hundreds and thousands of times, just shoot another one.
As intense as you would think an elite athlete like Bryant would be, he was actually all about not putting undue pressure on himself. You see, whether it was the game-winning shot or just another practice shot at the gym, at the end of the day, it was just another shot in his view. It was all the same. This mindset allowed him to free himself up mentally from the heavy burden of self-induced pressure that often brings about all kinds of fears and self-doubts that could weigh a lot of us down and affect our performance. He could rest easy and be confident in himself and his own ability because at the end of the day, he's made thousands of shots before. Now just do it again. Concept number 3, don't settle. Kobe would often dismiss comparisons to himself and Michael Jordan or any other great player who came before him because he would often say he wasn't worried about becoming the next Jordan. He wanted to be the first Kobe. He understood the importance of not comparing yourself to others and instead putting your focus on maximizing out your own potential and your own ability because, like I said in the first point, you could easily end up outperforming someone who may have more innate ability than you by simply putting in more work. Never settle for a lesser version of yourself. Focus on building upon your own abilities, maximizing your own potential, and you won't be bogged down by comparing yourself to others around you. You know, I think the main takeaway that I'm getting from studying people like Kobe Bryant, people who are considered great at what they did, right? Whether they be great businessmen, great athletes, great artists, what have you, is that a lot of them had very simplistic mindsets when it comes to what they do or just life in general, right? A lot of them have very simplistic philosophies that they live their life by. You know, for example, Kobe Bryant, the Mamba mentality. What did he talk about? He talked about putting in the work, putting in the time, putting in the effort, right? Not comparing yourself to other people, just focusing on yourself, focusing on your own progress, competing with yourself, right? He talked about not putting undue pressure on yourself, not creating any sort of excess, self-doubt and insecurity within you, right? A lot of this stuff is just very basic stuff that you would have heard a million times if you read any sort of self-development book or watched a video or went to some seminar, right? You would have heard this stuff a million times over. It almost seems too obvious, like you might be rolling your eyes like, yeah, of course I know all this stuff. But I think that's the point, is that a big part of what separates successful people from the rest of the pack is that they recognize that there really is no secret, right? And I think a lot of self-development culture nowadays revolves around trying to sell, the secret, whether it's buy this book, go to this seminar, take this online course, do this thing and you'll become successful. But what truly successful people realize is that there are no shortcuts in life. And that in of itself is the secret, if you get what I mean. Recognizing that there are no secrets, that there are no shortcuts in life, and that it really is just about putting in the work and staying focused and staying dedicated, staying determined, not comparing yourself to other people, right? These very simple things that we learned as kids, that really is all that it's about, and that's what it's always been about. And I think, like I said, that's what successful people have realized, and that's what makes them successful. And for me, guys, well, that's the Mamba mentality.